If you're wearing lots of hats and spinning lots of plates, then your reports have to do a job for you. They need to be the interface between the mechanics of what's happening in your ad channels and also the bigger picture of your marketing performance. And more importantly, they need to help you. This is the B2B Performance Marketing Podcast by Webmarketer, here to help you make the right moves with your B2B advertising. No spin, no smoke and mirrors, just honest insights from the advertising front line.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Maelien.
And I'm Louis. And today we're going to be talking about how to get the most out of your ad reports. Okay, picture this. You've got an ads report in front of you. It's got all the right charts and tables, green arrows going up, all of that good stuff. It looks fine. But you can't help reading it and wondering, what is this actually telling me?
If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. Every marketer already has way too much on their plates. And reporting isn't something that they want bulking this up. And actually, reporting is almost one of those universal sticking points when it comes to advertising. The fact that so many prospective clients ask to see our reports before working with us actually backs this up. If your report needs more than a quick tweak or two, then working with your agency or team to fix this can feel a little bit daunting. The truth is that reports need to be comprehensive enough to give you what you need and simple enough for you to be able to get answers from it really quickly.
So in today's episode, we're going to cover how to get there. We'll break down how to get reports you actually want to read, how to spot what needs attention, and how to use data to make better decisions faster. This one's for any B2B marketer who's had to smile their way through a 20-slide presentation and still come away feeling a little bit lost at sea.
In our experience, most reports fall into one of two categories. You've either got the spreadsheet dump, so tables full of data but with zero actual context, or you've got information diarrhea. Now, this is where there's tons and tons of narrative and words, but you feel like it's not actually telling you anything. Part of the problem here is that the team managing your ads needs to understand that insights aren't just for content, that reporting isn't just some pointless admin task, and data isn't just for decoration.
If you're wearing lots of hats and spinning lots of plates, then your reports have to do a job for you. They need to be the interface between the mechanics of what's happening in your ad channels and also the bigger picture of your marketing performance. And more importantly, they need to help you, and they need to do that in two ways. Firstly, they need to give you the confidence that everything is under control. And secondly, they need to equip you with the performance story. So if anyone internally asks you how it's going, you're ready with an answer.
On that note, let's talk about the things that your report have to tell you. Now, this is a working theory, but when you think about it, you should be able to take every single point and bucket it into one of three categories. And those are diagnose, decide, and demonstrate. Every point needs to earn its place in the report. So if it's not helping you spot a problem, make a decision, or show you that something's working, then it's just adding noise. If these categories are used with intention, then it's going to help you turn junk data into useful insights. Let's run through some scenarios to give this some context, starting with diagnose. Looking at this through the diagnose lens, we might get the cost per lead has increased this month because the promotion we were running last month has ended. Or the experiment we're running has pushed the cost per lead up, but we'll keep a really close eye on this and review this in 2 weeks. It's not just stating an outcome, it's giving some context around what might have caused it.
And I'll jump in and give an example of decide. It could be, we've noticed the click-through rate in LinkedIn start to drop. This could be an indication of ad fatigue, so we could try adding some new creative into the mix. This is data that helps you make a decision. So whereas diagnose contextualizes a point, decide makes sure that it's acted on.
Now finally, there's demonstrate. It could be, while the conversion rate looks low here with 1.2%, it's actually really important that we keep this campaign live, because when we look a little bit deeper into this, the average deal value is so much higher here. So even though this looks like an underperformer on the surface, it's actually one of the most profitable campaigns we're running. So demonstrate goes beyond recommending an action and builds a case for why this action was actually justified in the first place.
So rather than just living in theory land, we thought we'd bring a bit of real world context into the mix and talk about how we do things here at Webmarketer. As a quick precursor, every new client that we bring on board runs through a discovery and ignition phase where we research all of the targets and KPIs and everything that's important to the business so that we can weave that through our reports. Once campaigns are live, we do weekly pulse reports for fast feedback. Now, these aren't deep data dives, these are just for performance control. Each one is a quick snapshot of spend versus budget, performance versus target, and time elapsed versus time remaining. It's quick, clear, and it's designed to flag issues early so that there are no nasty surprises at the end of any month. We also really pride ourselves on the levels of transparency that we work with. So reporting weekly demonstrates that we don't just run reports every month, and that's the only time that we're looking at campaigns. Then separate to the weekly pulse reports, we run monthly insight calls. Now, these go much deeper and they look at holistic performance, channel breakout, month on month, year on year, return on investment and things like that. And then also considerations for the upcoming months. This is where the decision making happens. So anything we're going to add to the campaigns, anything we're going to remove, anything we're going to change, and anything we're going to test next. Now, it's really important that we use this time to reflect on what's happening on the ground. We often say that we're the media experts and the client is the domain expert, and the perfect solution is somewhere in between the two. So it's really important to get both sides of the story of what the data is saying, both from web analytics and ad reports and also on the ground commercial feedback.
And finally, there's client cadence. Now, this isn't a report, but this is getting a sense of what the internal rhythm is of the client. So every client is going to be going through some kind of rhythm here, whether that's seasonal peaks and troughs, or quarterly demand gen pushes, or working towards their annual targets. Our job is to make sure that that's reflected in our reporting, our strategy, and our communication. That way, running ads isn't just running ads for the sake of it. It's tied to a much bigger, more holistic view.
And that brings us on to the last thing that we wanted to talk about, which is alignment and partnership. In our experience, the best working relationships aren't built on results, they're built on trust and on knowing that your agency or your in-house team has your back. Because when you know that, that's something that you can lean on. You can say things like, I've got a board meeting coming up next week. Can you send me a few bullets on what we've achieved to date? You can ask for a warts and all version of the reporting notes by email for yourself and maybe a more tailored version for the board in the actual PDF. You can ask for any points that don't make complete sense to be expanded on. And ultimately, if your reports aren't doing what they need to for you, you don't need to have all the answers. Just saying it's not working for you should be enough to kickstart a conversation with your team, to tear down the report, to figure out what's not working and to build it back better. Every business is different, but being really clear about the kind of information you need goes a long way to getting the insights that are going to help you out. And a good team will make that happen because they know that their success is directly tied to yours.
Okay, great. It's takeaway time. Let's summarize what we've talked about and wrap things up. Think about diagnose, decide, and demonstrate to get useful insights. If you're reading your reports and the insights just aren't useful, you can use this framework to focus your questions and how you push back. Ask yourself, is this helping me spot a problem? Does it help me make a decision? Is it showing progress clearly? If it isn't, then this is your cue to ask for clarification. Make sure you're getting the right information at the right time. In our process, weekly pulse reports gives you quick control data so that you can easily see where you're at. Things like spend versus budget and progress versus target. The monthly insight calls go deeper, covering things like channel performance, strategic actions, ROI, and what's actually going on the ground. While this approach might not be perfect for you, hopefully it gives a solid base to start from. Lastly, lean on your partners and communicate what you need. If you're getting long-winded notes, vague dashboards, and unclear insights that just create more work for you to untangle, know that you're not stuck with it. Any agency or team worth their salt will make sure that they work with you to help tighten things up.
If you found this episode useful, please leave us a review. Our main goal is to remove the smoke and mirrors from the B2B advertising world, and every review helps with this. If you've got a burning question or a challenge that you'd like us to explore, let us know. You can head to webmarketeruk.com/topic and fill in the simple form that's there. We really want to make every episode as useful as possible for you, and we read every single message. So thanks a lot for listening, and catch you on the next episode.